3.
We'll do it live.
Now we're live! Erin Kennedy. The general craziness of it, the impact on your life.
We have gone through so many stories and we said, you know what? This should not be kept to the two of us. Hi, Megan.
Hello, Erin.
You survived Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I did. You know? Yes. Now it's the mad dash to actually get everything I need for all the people I need presents for Christmas. And I don't know about you, but my kids are old enough now where they're in middle school and stuff. So it's like, I'm not going to buy gifts for 17 million teachers. They all have, whatever. Like if there's a special teacher or a special relationship or whatever. But then usually we do coach things because they spend so much time with their coaches. Then we have to think about these random kids who will decide they want to get Willow a Christmas present or Lana. And then you have to reciprocate. So it's like, how many extra kid gifts do I need to have in the basement just in case?
So what you need to have in the basement is a friendship bracelet maker.
Yeah, I have one of those.
And then, so then I just have all right, make a bracelet. Everybody gets a bracelet.
I have the friendship bracelet maker kit ready to be gifted.
Oh, no, I mean, just keep it. Cause then it's
just to make it.
So, but then the kids can hand them out to whoever they want, and
okay, that's actually really smart.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like, and all of a sudden, because my kids are to the point where they're going to get a little bit more social or whatever. We've had a birthday party pretty regularly. I am single-handedly holding up the Squishmallow company because every party Willow goes to, she's like, I'm going to get him a Squishmallow. And I'm like,
that's on everybody's Christmas list this year as well.
Oh yeah. Well, do they have specific ones they want?
Elliot wants a dog one. I don't know that Maya was specific, and I don't think Conrad was. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I literally know the names and birth dates of these freaking things that I've been having.
Really? Okay, can you be my personal shopper then for Squishmallows?
No, because I just go to Target and get whatever's in the bin at the top that I can reach.
Okay, that's what I'll do then.
And I go. Yeah.
So we're talking about a story today that I think a lot of people are talking about, and you brought this to my attention yesterday, and I got to say it made me very sad. We are talking about, I'll just pull up the cover here, TJ Holmes and Holmes-Robach, which I didn't even notice this cover, Megan, until you literally read it to me as well.
If you read it correctly, it's not Good Morning, America, my
Sure
friend.
isn't.
Good morning.
This is why I'm sad. I'm always sad when kind of marriages don't work. That makes me sad. But I'm also sad because Megan, for years, we watched TJ Holmes on ABC World News Now when we were getting ready for our morning show. So he was on at the equivalent of 3 a.m. our time, right? Or 3:30 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually that was an ABC morning show that we were watching on a different network. We preferred watching him because he was just very good. We liked the show, and it moved a little bit more. It's a little bit more fun, I guess, which is what you need at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
I don't have so much a feeling of sadness because I'm not sure. There's a lot coming out that potentially they were both already separated first before it started. We don't know the timing on it. So I'm going to assume the best. But I don't know that I should either way,
And I think that people will say, and I know you had somebody reach out to you and say oh my gosh, do you have any insights on this? And I think the only insight that we could have would be general and kind of industry wide, which would be, I know that the divorce rate among people who work in news is very high. We've talked about that before.
Giant.
For the hours and the stress, and it's
all the things.
It's very taxing. But I think too, at any moment you could be called to do something, right? So if you wanted to have an affair, that kind of job lends itself very well to it.
Yeah, quite honestly, it does. And there's also sort of, and I think we have likened this, and it's a very weak comparison that I'm going to make here because obviously there's so much more importance going on in the military than there is in what we're doing, and so much more that they have to go through. But it is similar in that it's an industry that not very many people understand. So the problems that you face, the feelings that you have, the things that bother you sometimes don't make sense to people who are outside of the industry. So if you're having a particularly hard time, your issues won't be understood by everyone. So like if things were not going well, sometimes you can't find other people to understand unless they're in that same boat. So I think that is also a reason why some people in that industry end up having an affair with somebody else in that industry because they share similar understandings and like they can provide comfort to each other and that leads somewhere else, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a sad thing, but you're right. I mean, look, this stuff is happening like everywhere in America all the time, everywhere in the world all the time, for as long as history has been around, for as long as marriages have been around. I'm sure this has been occurring.
Right. But it is different because now too, and you can see this as well on the cover. Well, maybe you can't because it's that very small writing, but executives have an emergency meeting to discuss the fallout.
Right.
So you also have to wonder if their jobs will be secure. And this is where I would circle back and say, if they were looking to fire you, you're fired now. If they
Yes.
love you, don't worry about it.
Well, and don't worry about it also if ratings are of the utmost concern, because the level of tweeting / Instagramming.
Oh, I bet ratings will go
talking,
up, right? Is that
that's
what
what
you're
I'm
saying?
saying.
Yeah.
Yes, because people are watching because they want to watch that dynamic now. And I have always talked about energy, Erin. Like, I mean, I like everyone probably their minds just shut off and they're like, oh, Jesus, here she goes again. But when you look at the weather, I just okay, you watch these hurricanes, you watch these massive things, right? It's all energy. That's all that's in the world to me. Like everything is about energy. And I think like we are attracted to people's energies and et cetera, et cetera. If you have that much chemistry on the air together, it is because you have that much chemistry. If you are then spending time together, you still have that level of chemistry. You cannot turn that off necessarily. So there may have just been sparks that they could not control in that regard, which is the same thing that makes them so good together on the air.
Well,
The interesting
okay,
thing
I'm
would be
sorry.
if they
I would
broke
push
up.
back. I think they need to have a little bit more. To me, I mean, I don't want to come off real preachy here, but like if
I'm
you
not
want to
saying
have
it
an
should end
affair,
there.
then you need to take the time to have a divorce first and this and that.
I
But
totally agree. Yeah.
I
I
can,
totally agree, Erin. Listen, I am not standing up for the
yeah,
steps that they
right.
took.
No, I know. Yeah.
The romantic novel reading Megan in me is now removing the fact that they were married and thinking about just the connection they must have had. Okay. So like, and that's probably not right. Like, frankly, I would never do that. I would never do that. I would never have done that in any moment. But I worked in New York for 3 years. I knew so many people who had had affairs, and some were in the business, some were out of the business. And a lot of it, I think, is predicated in large part too on the way you live in New York City. Okay. Like you don't spend as much time at home, going out to your garden, doing this and that. Like the bar down the street in many occasions becomes your living room because you don't want to be in your tiny little apartment all the time. And that sort of lifestyle sometimes lends itself, especially if you're working on shifts opposite of your partner and you're sleeping at different times, that can lend itself to putting yourself in situations where that's more likely to happen as well.
Right. Or if whenever they're on assignment and going to another place to cover big breaking news, and then you're staying in a hotel. So I think that there are
And
many
they were training for the
opportunities.
marathon together. So
No.
that's a lot of time running and stuff together. I think, regardless of what happened, look, like I want to hope the best on it, that they were both already separated, that they had already had issues, and that they found common ground to talk about those issues together. And because of the chemistry, it sparked into something more. Now, timing could be totally off. They could have been having an affair forever, and that caused the end of their relationships as well. We honestly don't know. That's the part that I think is making watching this all unfold while they're trying to do their jobs on the air that much more fascinating.
But they're also being, as it says again, totally unapologetic. So let's, like you said,
Yeah.
they are essentially celebrities, national celebrities, right? So they're more than like local news people.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that they also had a powwow with their PR people and themselves. And they said, all right, how are we going to play this? And then somebody said, you just got to own it, right? Just be, if this is what you want, you just got no apologies, go out. But to me, oh gosh, the spouses, that really does hurt me. But
I thought about that the other day because, like, not only now are you having a divorce, but the affair your significant other was having is outed on national TV, and that draws attention. It's got people Googling TJ's wife and Googling, oh, she was married to Andrew Shue, and oh, but he's hot. What do you think? You know, like all that's going on right now. That is never easy. Life in the public eye is never easy.
and
The
so what do you
things that
think?
are
How do you
happening are not, they're happening everywhere in every facet of society.
Yeah, but nowhere else really would management be having secret emergency meetings, because I'm sure there is an employee code of conduct book which either
Yeah.
says you may date a coworker or you may not date a coworker. But now, and I don't know about you, I never was banned from dating a coworker in any of my jobs. I think there's a
Were
morality
you
clause.
married the whole time?
Well, I was. I'm just
Me
saying.
too. Yeah,
And,
like I'm just
and
thinking like I was always happily married during the course of my TV career, and I think like I and you put out a vibe of like don't even try because there's not going to go there anyway. So I did that stuff. I didn't put myself in those positions, right? And neither did you. And so we didn't have a choice to make because we weren't putting ourselves in those positions,
Yeah, but
right?
I just wonder if you and I were to talk through what the executives are saying right now, I wonder which way it's going to go. And I think that they're both well regarded and well liked. And I think that they're just hoping there's a boost in ratings,
Yes.
and they're going to monitor the fallout and have probably regular meetings to discuss what's going on now, what the next step should be, and cross their fingers that it just equals more revenue.
And if the rumors are correct and they're both already in the process of being separated or have been for several months, there's really no proof of when this started. So they can't necessarily say, and again, like that's that morality clause anyway. How do you know what was going on? We don't. We don't know what was going on in their marriages beforehand. We don't know when this started. We don't know how this started. We don't know how long it's been going on. All of that. So I don't know. I'm not. Oh, I don't know. I just feel like it's not my thing to judge what they did with their personal lives.
I
I'm
am
just
judging.
sitting.
I am
You
being
are
very
judging.
judgy.
I am not judging because I don't know. Like I just feel like there's so much we don't know about what was going on. However, I love to hell watching it.
You and
I'm like,
everybody else, yeah. Uh,
yeah.
I liked TJ so much. So no, it makes me sad.
Well, it was
So
funny
yes,
because I got a text from a friend of mine. And it was just a picture of TJ and it was a picture of Andrew Shue. And she's like, which one would you pick? And I was like, oh my God, like this is what people are talking about right now. Because Andrew Shue is also really good looking, but so is TJ. Not that that's all what it's about. I know I'm making light of it and there's a marriage involved in all of that. I'm not trying to, take away the importance of or the criticality or whatever of what happened. But people are responding to this in not as such a serious way, in more like a oh my God way, right?
right. And so
Because
that's
it
why I
doesn't
think,
feel real to them, but there are real marriages and real families at stake here,
yeah. Oh, it
right?
pains me. Pains me. I mean, Matt Lauer went through the same thing with his wife, with Natalie Morales,
I mean, and then so many other things came out.
and then so many other things, right?
So many
Uh,
other things.
yeah, so I think it's interesting. The only insight that I would offer on this, like I said, is that I think that the industry lends itself well if you do want to cheat or have an affair. And also, as you talk about executives making decisions after it happens, the contract protects the company. So if they want to say this violates your morality clause,
Then
or
you're
if
out.
they say, oh, this doesn't violate your morality clause, then,
So though, do you feel that both would be punished equally in this case? Or do you feel like they could get rid of one and keep the other? Or reassign one and keep the other? Or do you feel like should they be, if they decide to take action against them in any way, shape, or form, like removing them from the show, firing them, whatever, should they both be fired?
So I think Amy's more core, right? I mean, he was essentially doing overnights first. So I
Yeah.
would assume he would be bumped before she would.
See? And then it's like, who do we put more ratings on? Okay, well, we know we've had Amy here for a while. Her, But I think a lot of that could, if they're paying attention to the fallout, like you said, who's coming out on top PR wise of this situation? Are people, I mean, are we looking at them as a team? In which case, then you've got to treat it equally. If like the general population is saying them, but if the general population is starting to lash out at TJ for any particular reason or at Amy for any particular reason, then that changes that conversation, I think.
Have you known anybody, again, me too, many people in the industry who've had affairs? I knew of many,
Yeah.
but never any repercussions.
No.
Yeah.
I can't think of any repercussions. I mean, and then in this like politically charged world that we live in, we cannot not talk about the fact that it's also a relationship between a Black man and a white woman. There are factions of this country that won't like that for a particular reason. And this, you know what I'm saying? There's so many implications that I think are being weighed in all the ways. That should not come into anyone's thought pattern because that is not an issue. But you know that in some areas of the country or whatever, that will be an issue.
Yeah.
You know? Think about that. It's crazy to think about the whole thing.
Well, I think we've talked this one through as much as we can offer any insights on it without knowing either one of them.
We've got no other insights.
Yeah.
All
right. Also, as Megan says, we're A/B testing shorter episodes, which are always difficult for us to do because we just get going.
I could still keep talking.
I know you could. So please like and subscribe and tell your friends. We hope that everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. We hope you have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all the rest. Good luck buying squishmallows.
Yeah, they sold a lot when I was at the Target the other day.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of Hal, the yellow dinosaur with the blue.
Conrad would like Hal.
Yeah. I mean, Conrad would like Hal.
It's Conrad's birthday today, too. He's 3.
Happy birthday, Conrad.
Yes. All right. Bye, everybody. Bye, Megan.
I'm going to be watching this. I'll keep you updated. Watch my Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all the places. Bye.